Well, I don't know why we gave the phone numbers. The lines are already jammed. We'll be back in a moment. John Lear, our guest, will take your phone calls on our next Coast to Coast program. By the way, tomorrow night will be our Friday and the Saturday night open lines. But for the first hour, I'm going to talk with someone by the name of Anonymous about that very strange box called the Dybbuk box. So get ready for that one. But we'll be back in a moment. John Lear, your phone calls next on Coast to Coast AM. Did you ever come across anything, John, which would show that during this episode with extraterrestrials that there were fights involved? I mean, did you have any pilot friends or anybody tell you about that?
No, I didn't, but I've read all the incidents of when we tried to shoot things down, and I think we lost about 200 aircraft.
I remember Art once, a couple of years ago, was talking about an incident that he said he heard that involved a drilling project near 51, and he said they drilled down some 2,000 feet, and as they brought the drill up, it apparently pulled up human flesh, bones, and things like that. That's a bizarre story.
Well, that's, the fact is this is just an experiment, a petri dish, so to speak, and every 25,000 years, I mean, it's proven by historical geological records that every 25,000 years or so, on an average, the Earth is mixed up. It's turned on its axis, rotated on its axis, and everything is wiped off, and they start over again.
Let's go to the phones now.
Well, before we go to the phones,
let's slow down. Then what?
I just want to tell you that I remembered the name of the MJ-12 member that had the crush on my mom. His name was Hoyt Vandenberg, General Hoyt Vandenberg. And he was the second chief of staff for the Air Force, and Vandenberg Air Force Base was named by him.
And as these MJ-12 members died, the rest of the group found somebody else to replace him, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And now there's 36 members.
Still going strong.
Yep.
Wildcard line, you're on the air with us. Hi there.
Hi. I'm having an interesting night tonight, aren't we?
It is, indeed. And where might we be?
I'm Jackie. I'm from, North Las Vegas.
Okay, Jackie, go ahead.
Okay. John, I'm hoping you can solve a 27-year-old mystery for me. Do you know what was going on in 1979?
Where?
Well, on Mars.
No.
Okay.
What was going on in 79 on Mars?
Well, I used to work at NASA during that time, and handling downlink telemetry. And one night on our video monitors, while the little Viking rover was running around, I see two men in suits, not necessarily space suits. I mean, they looked protective, but they didn't look like the bulky things that our astronauts use. But they came over the horizon, walking towards the Viking Explorer, and our vision got cut off. I didn't see what they did with it or anything else.
They were probably making repairs.
Well, that's why I was wondering if they were our guys or not. Cause
yeah, they were.
You know what kind of suits they wore?
Pardon?
Do you know what kind of suits they wore?
Well, they wouldn't have to wear very much. I mean, the atmosphere is... there's enough atmosphere to walk around without a spacesuit on Mars, same as there is on the moon. I mean, it's like about 15,000 feet on Earth. Now, you can go through a 24-hour acclimatization program on the moon, and you can walk around without a spacesuit. Same thing on Mars. You don't need a spacesuit. If they had one, it was just minimal.
Did you have any other witnesses there while you saw this?
Well, there's about out of the workers, there's probably about a half a dozen of us, because we were, you've seen the typical NASA things where they got all the monitors.
Oh, yeah. So you had a few people out there monitoring the monitors.
Yeah, you got about, the people that were up there, and then there's about a half a dozen of us downstairs, because, it was just maintaining the equipment, because if anything went wrong, we had to get it up quick so they didn't miss the telemetry.
You folks must have been amazed at what you saw.
Yeah, because, when we saw that and they cut off our video downstairs. Of course, we ran upstairs, and they've got almost side doors upstairs. They have those little windows. I don't know if you been there.
I have not. No.
Okay. Well, they got those side doors going up to the back, what we call nosebleed section in most stadiums and stuff. But anyway, you come up there, and we could look through the little window in that because they had just locked the door, and they normally don't lock it on us. But anyway, they just locked the door, and then they came. We saw some more on their monitors. And they came over some paper taped over the door.
They clipped it. Can you imagine
Jackie,
that,
I
John?
appreciate you calling and telling us that story. It is great, and it just confirms what's going on.
Can you imagine that, John? There they are looking at their telemetry, and they spot the monitors, and they're looking at the rover or piece of it, and all of a sudden they see two human beings walking into the scene?
Yeah, absolutely. They were going just like Mars rover, cleaning off the dust. They had their paper towels and Windex and got cleaned off so it could receive the signals.
First-time caller line, you're on the air with John Lear on Coast to Coast. Hi there.
Hello?
Yeah, hi. Go ahead, sir.
Oh, hello, Mr. Noory and Mr. Lear. Nice talking with you.
Sure.
I'm sure my sister in California will be talking about this show tomorrow. My name is Cliff. I'm in Dallas. And it's just one thing about the whole scenario here. I've been hearing about, we have these the Hubble, we have the spacecraft, and all these different things that we send out into space. And it boggles me to think that none of our spacecraft or our satellites or anything out there in space has ever been destroyed by any of these aliens. If they are, maybe, I know we have some that are hostile, we have some that are not so hostile, but I mean, we're able to land on these different planets and including Mars and take off and come on back home to Earth. And I'm just really trying to understand how come we have it, because if we land on Mars and there is life on Mars, wouldn't that be like an invasion or coming onto their land? Like if they come on to Earth.
Well, how would they perceive that, Mr. Lear?
No, we're pretty harmless. And I'm sure we have some kind of agreement. And by the way, there's not one Hubble, there's two. There's a secret one and the one that the public knows about.
Okay.
I didn't know that. I hope one of them exists after a while, huh?
Yep.
All right, thanks. Do you think we have shot down, or they have shot down any of our satellites?
Let's see. Have they shot down any of our satellites? I don't know. There was the Russian probe that got the beam out of Phobos.
And that was zapped. Something happened there.
And some of our stuff has been zapped in Mars. But, of course, NASA tells some of it's zapped because they don't want to share any of the information. They said, whoops, it failed, and then they get the information without telling us what it is.
And it's still up there doing whatever it's doing.
Sure.
I always suspected that sometimes,
Same thing with
too.
Clementine when it went up to take those fabulous pictures of the moon, and then after it got done, it, went out of control, and we couldn't get the pictures, and da-da-da-da-da.
First time east of the Rockies. We'll go to you first. You're on Coast to Coast. Hi there.
Hey, George.
Good.
This is John from Springfield, Illinois, WTAX.
Yes.
Yeah, John, you're one of my favorite guests on the show. I'd like to tell you that.
Thank you.
Now, my question is, what % of astronomy taught in our schools, like colleges, is actually correct in your mind?
As far as?
Totally correct as far as you're saying what's actually going on these on the planet's surfaces and the atmospheres. What is your percentage that you think that is correct that's actually being taught in our schools? Probably
5%.
Really?
The orbits are correct, but all the rest of the stuff, the composition of the planets and, what's on there and the gases that surround them, that's all BS.
Okay,
is it because the professor probably just doesn't know, John?
No, he is main line. I mean, to be a professor and to keep your credentials, you better toe the line. And
Right.
Not be talking about anything strange.
Sure. Well, but what I'm saying is, though, I don't think he believes there's anything strange. A lot of these guys probably aren't in the know.
Yeah, well.
West of the Rockies, you're up on Coast to Coast. Hi there. Hello.
Hi, George.
Hi, go ahead.
It's Richard from Lawndale, California.
Hi, Richard. Go ahead. You're on with John Lear.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
I used to work at your dad's company, Lear in Santa Monica.
Oh, really? Yeah.
From 91 through 99.
That was when it was